Gonna be working on the bearings on this bad boy today. The old Yukon Denali. We're gonna do these front wheel bearings. They're stripped, the heads are stripped, so we're gonna be taking our cutoff wheel on our grinder and cutting both the front wheel bearings off. I'd say both. We'll see about this one over here. That's my baby though. Got a lot of work to her. A lot of hours in this old Denali. Only 150,000, just hit 150,000 miles. I pulled this dash out of a Cadillac Escalade. Same year as this. It's the same car. Put that aftermarket Sony stereo system. I actually got a bypass to bypass the factory amp in this thing. It's a Bose sound system. That's the first thing I did when I hooked up that aftermarket stereo, and then I did some research, found this pack adapter that allowed me to use that aftermarket stereo with my Bose sound system. Pack didn't actually have a procedure to do that, but we figured her out. The guy at the shop didn't even know how to do it, and I pulled up a video on YouTube showing that you put 2 highs for every low that comes out of that stereo into the pack adapter. There are a high and a low for every 1 wire that comes out of that stereo system into that pack adapter, but that's how you did that. But that's what I got. Got my face mask, start doing my grinding. I'll wear my goggles with that. And we got these MOOG wheel bearings here. Beautiful, beautiful wheel bearings. We're gonna be putting them in today. At least one of them, if we can get that one. Like I said, we're gonna be cutting it out. We got our grinder back here. Gonna be grinding with our corded. I always go with corded when it comes to grinders. You don't want to be changing out your batteries. You be grinding some brick, changing out your batteries 10 times. But that's my tool shop here. Old Denali tool shop. But I'll get back with you. Let me get this jacked up. Pull my jack out of here. I got my jack back there. I'll pull my jack out. I'll probably put a jack stand under there, and then we'll get to going, boys, girls. Alright, first thing you want to do, you jack it up just a little bit, get some of that weight off this chassis here, and you want to start loosening your lug nuts and your axle nut. You want to break them loose. I already did that. I got an impact air compressor here, but I already knew they were loose because I had them off the other day, so I didn't pull out my impact and hook it up. I just grabbed my breaker bar set, my 1 3/4 impact socket, put it on my axle nut there. It's tight enough. You break that loose, and you can go ahead and jack it up the rest of the way. Get that tire off the ground. Alright, and you go ahead and pop the rest of your lug nuts off. Alright, I'll get with you. Alright, we've been cutting out here. I've been cutting out here. Got my grinder. I use a diamond tip blade is what I use. It cuts right through this metal. Got my heads cut off here. Got my brake fan pulled over. I cleaned it up a little bit. Need a new one, but I'll just clean this one up a little bit. And we got our heads gone. and we're going to try to pull these suckers out of here. You see it really. Alright, I just want to show the progress so far. I got that one and that one out, and this one's coming out right now. Ended up putting this big monkey wrench on it to get a hold of that bolt there. It just got so stripped with those vice grips. I was able to get a couple turns out of those two bolts, but I couldn't get nothing out of this third bolt here, so I pulled out the big monkey wrench. There's all my bolt pieces there. Working on this third one. Alright, get back with you when I get it all cleaned up. Get this third bolt out of here, get this surface cleaned up, the mating surface for the new bearing. It's going to go on this knuckle here, spindle. Alright. Alright, there we are. We got our mating surface all cleaned up, ready to go, nice and smooth, no rust. Cleaned up our knuckle a little bit. Got a bunch of that rust off of there. And now we're working on getting this grease on here. It's wheel bearing grease. You want to make sure you get wheel bearing grease. This gets a lot of heat. So we're going to coat the inside of this CV axle with a bunch of grease, and then we're going to spray the mating surface with this red and tacky grease, and hopefully it'll prevent this area right here rusting up. That way the next time this bearing gets changed, if this car is still running at that time, this bearing might outlive this vehicle, who knows, but just in case, we're going to spray it right here, keep any rust from forming, hopefully. But that's that. So we're going to get this grease, and this red and tacky, this wheel bearing grease goes on your CV axle, the inside, mates with this bearing. This is the old one. See, this slides on here. You want there to be plenty of grease for when this goes on. We want it to be greased up in there. No noises. Nice and smooth operation. Alright, we'll get back with you once we got this greased up and ready for the new hub assembly. Alright, we got it greased up. Here's our new bearing. New bolts. New bearing. Go on just like that. I'm going to spray the back of this. Spray the back of this mating surface with some of that red and tacky. I'll put it on and we'll get back to it. There it is, all back together. Got our bearing grease in there. Got our red and tacky on there, try to prevent some rust forming up under there. We got it torqued down. Got that axle nut in. Now we just put our rotor on, our brake caliper back on, bleed our brake probably, and that'd be it, sir. Alright, ma'am.